Good afternoon. Thank you for attending my presentation. My name is Astrid Northrup. I am a registered professional engineer, and I am currently teaching at Northwest College in Powell, Wyoming, where I also serve as division chair for physical sciences. This paper was written in cooperation with my colleagues at Northwest College, Dr. Raymond Floyd and Dr. Renee Deckert, as well as our colleague at the University of Wyoming, Andrea Burrows. The purpose of this research is to analyze Wyoming's process of implementing universal, compulsory computer science education in all public K-12 schools, and to view this process as a potential model for other school systems. The problem at hand is preparing teachers to teach computer science in Wyoming. So the statement of the problem in Wyoming is Wyoming has mandated universal computer science education, which means that computer science will be available in all Wyoming K-12 schools at all grade levels for all students, and that will be integrated across the curriculum. The timeline is that the implementation will occur by the 2022-2023 school year. So the problem at hand is to create a process to endorse teachers to teach computer science in Wyoming K-12 schools. For a little background, first of all, Wyoming's economic past has been based on extractive minerals, primarily coal and natural gas and oil. Our state has no personal income tax, has a very low sales tax, and so a lot of our funding for state-supplied services comes through oil, natural gas, and coal. The Wyoming's educational K-12 model funding is also somewhat unique in that it is mandated that every student in every district, regardless of the wealth of that district, have available to them a universal set of deliverables, which is referred to as a basket of goods, and that basket of goods is independent of local funding ability. The Wyoming higher education system is also somewhat different in that we're a very low population state. There are only about 500,000 people in our entire state. So our higher education system is made up of one research university, the University of Wyoming, and 7 community colleges that are located throughout the state. Currently, we are working under an executive order referred to as WIN, or the Wyoming Education Network Initiative, which is being rebranded as the WIP, or Wyoming Innovation Partnership. This is to move Wyoming's economic future into a non-extractive minerals-based economy and move us toward an economy based on a population that is educated, especially in the digital sphere. With the WIN initiative came, in addition to this basket of goods, of universal computer science education. So the implementation from the administrative side began with a Supreme Court decision, the State of Wyoming versus Campbell County, over a decade ago, which created this mandate for the deliverables, or the basket of goods, to be available to every student in the state of Wyoming, regardless of the wealth of the local community or the local school district, followed by the executive action for the WIN initiative, which created a pathway for legislation. In 2018, the Senate Enrolled Act 20029 was created, directing the Wyoming Department of Education to develop computer science standards. The computer science content standards were implemented and published in 2019, and the computer science performance standards were just approved in 2021. The standards were taken to the school board, the state school board, for a debate and public comment. which led to the curricular implementation of the standards. The Professional Teaching Standards Board in the state of Wyoming is granted the authority to endorse teachers or to provide content area endorsements to certified teachers, including computer science. The process for developing or for educating existing certified K-12 teachers to teach computer science in the K-12 system fell mostly to the Wyoming community colleges and the University of Wyoming. And for the community colleges, we are further subjected to the Wyoming Community College Commission's approval, and in the case of Northwest College, where I work, also to the curriculum committee at our school. So the guidelines in terms of the practices for computer science content standards, which was put forth by the Wyoming Department of Education, included these 7 practices: fostering an inclusive computing culture, collaborating around computing, recognizing and defining computational problems, developing and using abstractions, creating computational artifacts, testing and refining computational artifacts, and communicating about computing. Standards practices 3 through 6 are generally addressed in traditional computer science courses. 1, 2, and 7 are a little bit different from that and required a broader approach. In the case of Northwest College's Computer Science Endorsement Program, we took 2 existing courses as is, Introduction to Computer Science and Computer Science 1, to address practices 3 through 6. We have another course, Robotics, which we modified to address practices 2 and 3, and then we added 2 courses, Social Media for K-12 teachers and Applications Development, to address practices 1 to 7 and 5 and 6 respectively. In Introduction to Computer Science, we teach students structured programming, creating computer artifacts, debugging and editing their artifacts using MATLAB programming language. We currently use assembler or machine level language to teach Computer Science 1. Robotics focuses on teaching competitive robotics. Here at Northwest College, our local school district, Park County School District number 1, has had a high degree of success in competitive robotics. Our students have competed at national and world levels and been quite successful. And we wished to create a pathway for educating teachers, not only in Park 1, but in other school districts, to take students to those levels with competitive robotics. Application development focused on creating computer artifacts that were immediately applicable in K-12 classrooms. So we used 3 modules, one involving Excel, one involving microbits, and one involving learning management systems, in order to have teachers create lesson plans that would be immediately applicable in their classroom. Social Media for K-12 teachers addressed a problem that, from surveying our local teachers, we found existed, in that school districts tend to forbid or heavily sanction the usage of social media in K-12 classrooms. We wanted to go beyond this and teach students to not use social media, but to use it effectively in order to increase cyber citizenship and cyber ethics. The first cohort of teachers at Northwest College began this program in June of 2020 and completed either in May or July of 2021. COVID-19 required virtual delivery. There was a maximum of 2 days of face-to-face for the entire program. The 2 days were for robotics and using Lego Mindstorm robots and programmable drones. If students were not able or not interested in attending those 2 days, they could complete it 100% remote by substituting a course called Teaching with Technology, which is also delivered remotely. We had 13 teachers complete the first cohort. They represented all grade levels. We had elementary teachers, middle school teachers, combined middle school and high school teachers, and high school teachers. And we had different content areas ranging from science, math, English, and social studies to business and career and technical education. Moving forward, now that we have graduated our first cohort, our second cohort began in May 2021 and we graduated in May 2022. We've made changes to the curriculum based on our experience with the first cohort. First, we've moved away from using assembler or machine language to using Python and C++ in Computer Science 1. We've also changed the schedule based on teacher preference. Most of our teachers are actively teaching in the K-12 school system, and the best time for them to do professional development is over the summer. So instead of offering one class like we did last summer, we're offering 3 classes this summer, which would be followed up by only 1 class in the fall, and 1 class in the spring in order to complete in May of 2021. Finally, context level system diagram represents the data flows and the processes that are required for teachers to obtain a certification in K-12 computer science at Northwest College. And the final product, of course, would be the curriculum development for NWC's computer science coordinator and faculty. Thank you for your time today, and I appreciate your attention. I'm open to any questions you have at this time.